All right. Welcome, everybody, back to another edition of Chairgatin. I'm your host, Rattlesnake, coming at you live once again from Austin, Texas, here with my co-host, Dakota. Who do we got today, Dakota?
Oh, my boy. This is a heater right here. We got the big leagues joining Chairgatin tonight, and it's my boy, Harris Liu, the Stuart Haas guy himself, photographer on Pit Road. Harris, introduce yourself.
I'm Harris Liu, owner of Liu Creative and graphic designer, photographer, Photoshop guru, jack of all trades at Stuart Haas Racing. Sometimes they let me hold a camera for video, but I mostly handle the graphics and social media stuff you see come out of Stuart Haas.
Hey, let's get it, boys.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it. What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in. Rock, flag, and eagle.
Yeah, Harris, I don't know if you really were familiar with us, but that's how we roll.
Man, I've seen the intro before. It gets me pumped every time.
Yeah, you like that? You're,
Yeah.
You know, this is right here. I'm not a guru, but I do have what is that? Adobe Creator or whatever, the video one. What's
Is it Premiere or Spark?
Premiere.
Spark Post, whatever.
I got Adobe Premiere, and I
Nice.
am self-taught from
Heck
YouTube.
yeah.
So that's
Well,
that's the product of that.
Legend amateur.
The explosion was the icing on the cake. You can't go wrong with a good explosion.
Exactly. I was like, I need It's Always Sunny, and I need an
Yeah.
explosion. Other than that, I don't care.
So
I agree.
Cool to be here live with you guys. I guess this is the first live podcast I've ever done. So
Yeah, we like to keep it spicy. You know, friends and other colleagues jump in and usually talk to our guests and stuff, but we keep it limited.
for sure.
Yeah,
I have to
already
censor
got some
myself
fans.
live here, so that's going to be a new hurdle. For
No,
me.
this is totally uncensored unless you have work, obligations. We keep it real here at Chairgatin.
I got to keep it as professional as possible.
I
Yeah.
told
The
my
mustache
boss.
is enough.
I told my boss about the podcast, which was a mistake. And then next thing I know, the CEO of the company came up to my desk and starts asking me about the podcast because he's like been watching NASCAR, and I'm like, oh God, don't. Please. So Mark, if you are watching, I'm sorry. Turn it off now. I love you, but yeah, sorry, man. So we're super happy to have you here. I've been following your Instagram account forever. I'm gonna be honest, and we kind of met in passing at Darlington, but I wasn't really sure. And then when we walked away, Dakota was like, dude, that was Harrison. I was like, ah, shit. I've been following you forever.
Well, it was definitely great to see you guys. I mean, me and Dakota have been trying to link up for
Yeah.
I feel like a year or two, just being at the track and passing and never actually running into each other.
I felt like a little fanboy for a moment because I was like, is this the day? Is this the race we're finally going to do this? And you're like, literally the time I went to Charlotte, you're like, oh, I'm not going. I was like, you live here. What the hell?
Look, man, that was the NASCAR days. So like, I got to the point where I was going to the Xfinity races and then skipping out on the Cup race just to try to miss traffic because Charlotte traffic's bad enough, but when you throw in Charlotte race day traffic, that's a whole new animal.
I remember following you forever and like, oh man, this guy has some sick stuff, dude. His Mustangs are sweet.
Yeah,
and you're always posting up, and then you were like, hey guys, I kind of work for Stuart Haas, and it was like, dude, like. I felt like you were one of the boys and you made it. Like you climbed the rope and it was like, that's my dude.
Well, I appreciate it, man. The new job has been a godsend, dude. It's been awesome. It's great working for a team, man. Like I worked for big NASCAR and I worked uptown at the corporate building, and you feel it's really cool to have at NASCAR at the end of your email address,
right.
And, I was getting to touch all kinds of stuff. I was getting to work with the licensing department. I was getting to work on schedule releases and, the things like the playoff branding, like what color stuff goes on the cars for which playoff cars. And I was getting to touch a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I didn't really get to feel that connection to the cars like I had when I was working on my buddy's late model team or like when I was coming up in the short track racing. But being at Stuart Haas, like I'm, 10 feet from the door to the teardown shop. So if I get some eye fatigue from staring at graphics or I get tired of sitting in my seat, I can go take a break and walk through the teardown shop and, say hey to the pit crew guys or walk across and go look at, the guys putting the cars together. And I get to feel like, I'm part of the team. And when you're on pit road, you're shooting photos with the 14, the 14, the 41, the 10, and you get to know the guys, and you're all up in their face with the camera. So, they get to know your name, you get to know theirs, and it's a cool little camaraderie that I feel like I didn't have working for big NASCAR. You walk through as a big NASCAR employee, and the folks giving out the trophies, the folks helping line things up on pit road, but to be a part of the team and to know, like, Cheddar and Rodney and Klossmeyer and all the crew chiefs and stuff, they know who you are, and when they see your camera, they like they get a little cool, they pose, and it's really cool to just have that kind of, like, you're flying on the team plane at the end of the night too, so you get to rub elbows with all the folks that make the cars run on Sunday. And
dude, that's insane. That's like,
so
it's like a dream job.
I know for NASCAR fans, it's a dream job. Like, that's, we all would love to work for NASCAR because that's what we love to do. So it'd be great to, make a living with what you love. Do you think NASCAR, and maybe even more in particular, since you're on a team now, do you think that they try to employ NASCAR fans? Do you think that's something that they like to hear when you're, like, interviewing?
I don't want to speak too much on that topic. I will say I was one of the few. And the few of us that were true NASCAR fans kind of banded together, and we had a lot of fun. And I'm still really good friends with most of those folks that, you could tell were there for genuine reasons. And those are the people that I feel are keeping it alive. They're keeping the ties back. They're reminding the new people of, where it came from and where it should be going. And, there's quite a few folks in there in influential roles that are NASCAR fans. And I have a good trust that they're there guiding the ship in the right direction. And at Stewart Haas, we're the same way. I feel like we're just a group of racers. We're all guys and girls that started out racing in late model or started out racing go-karts, or and we're all just looking around when we come to work, and we're like, holy crap, we made it to the Cup Series, and it's that kind of atmosphere that's super conducive to, like, the gung-ho, desire to be there and the environment that is at Stewart Haas. Because, most of us started in racing. I walked through the parking lot today and I saw there's a guy with like a hot rod Buick, and then one guy that owns a DeLorean, and like there's real, like, car people, and there's something new in the parking lot every day. Like yesterday there was a 70s car hauler, the kind with the tire rack behind the bed, and the, like, so it's a group of real racers, and I feel like that's it's a great place to be, and I feel like I landed in a great spot.
Dude, when you first, like, I guess maybe your first day or first week there, and I assume you pulled up in the Mustang. Did you pull up and people were like, yo, who's that guy? Or like, who's that kid in the Mustang? Like, that thing's badass. Or like, hey, what's this kid doing in here?
Hey, what's this redneck doing here? Get him out of here.
I have 3 cars. I've got my 2 Mustangs, and I got my Mercury Grand Marquis. So for the first couple weeks, they were like, all right, how many cars do you have? Like, I was showing.
How much are we paying you again, Harris?
Yeah, geez, look at this kid.
Well, I mean, they all know that they're not expensive cars. Like, they're the newest one I got is a 2003, and it's got 180,000 miles on it.
Hey.
Boy,
they're not new cars. I just have multiple, but yeah, they couldn't quite figure out whose cars were whose, and all 3 of them were mine. So, but luckily we had that the National Mustang Day paint scheme on the 14 through Ford Performance, and
yeah.
We got to corral, like, we sent out an SHR all email to anybody at the company that had Mustangs, and like we all parked them in the back with the car and shot.
That's cool.
And that's kind of like, everybody was like, oh, because I took one car there the night before and left it, and then I brought the other car the next morning. So I had both my cars and had to, like, walk back and forth to drive them, and they're like, oh, so those are both yours? It's like, yeah, those are both mine. So and then especially last week after Mustang Week, like, they got to watch Mustang Week through my Instagram stories and my tweets and my Facebook posts. So they know I'm outside of work, I'm Mr. Mustang. So it's been pretty cool. And heck, the fact that I get to work around Ford Mustangs all day and work with Ford Performance, and have Ford Performance Racing School on the 14 car. I actually got to go do the racing school, like, my 3rd month at the job, and me and my coworker Ross got to kind of race against each other a little bit in these new Mustangs. It's been a lot of fun, and like I said, I really couldn't have found a better place to land when it came to changing jobs in the industry.
So sick, man. As you were coming up, like, dude, oh my gosh, like, I got my own kind of brand going. I'm doing this with Stewart Haas. and more people go to recognize you? Was it, I assume probably, some other people in the media, drivers maybe, like they start following you or something. And you're like, oh my God, he's following me. Oh my God, like, holy crap.
It's weird, man. But like, I still feel like that kid that was drawing cars with crayons in kindergarten. I try to come from that atmosphere, and growing up around, my best friend in elementary school all through high school was a race car driver. He was, he won a couple of karting championships when we were in like 5th and 6th grade, and then he jumped into a late model when we were 14, and I couldn't afford to race, but I knew how to make race cars look good. So I kind of hopped on his team and learned the ropes. And for my senior college project, I used his new late model that they built as my canvas for my senior design project. So I don't know if I'm the first person to put a race car in an art gallery, but I'm probably one of the only ones. So I know, Andy Warhol did the art cars for BMW back in the day, but yeah, I mean, so we raced all the way up to K&N. Like, I actually have the door from his K&N car because Kyle Larson took us out on the final lap in the first turn at Langley, and Corey LaJoie won that race. So, we were racing against Bubba and Blaney and Chase. We actually tried to borrow a Hans device from Chase Elliott that day because my buddy's Hans had been out of SFI approval. So like I'd kind of been around these guys before. And then working through NASCAR, I would handle the media day every year at the beginning of the year with my old boss and Getty. So, you're kind of, you realize that, they're regular dudes just like you, and they're here to do a job, and their job just happens to be a little bit cooler than yours. But it's all they're all normal people. And I've been good friends with Tyler Reddick for quite a while. Back when he was a truck series driver, we became friends through, the vehicles that we drive, which I won't mention because he's now driving another form of vehicle. But let's just say we had a vehicle in common that we became friends through, and a
Chevy Camaro.
Oh, dude, don't even put me. I've seen his post, dude. That thing is freaking badass. Like, I'm like, dude, that's what I like about him, and I kind of like about Alex Bowman is like they have their hobby outside, and they're like freaking ripping, and like their custom cars are sick as hell. And it's like, imagine having unlimited money to just build whatever you wanted.
Well, that was one of the cool things when he got that new Camaro. I did his logo design, so the TR and the Tyler Reddick. I did that back in 2017, and so our mutual friend Rob, who does a lot of tinting and vinyl wrapping in the area, was tinting his car, and Tyler was like, "You can wrap it, do whatever you want to." And Rob was like, "Okay," and he got the logo for me, and that was when he was doing the red and gold. We did that old Milwaukee car. So like we went off the red and gold old Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, yeah, that's
yeah.
sick.
We did the TR with the red and gold down the side of the Camaro, and like we surprised him with a little graphics package. So that thing, he made it out to Cars and Coffee like 2 months ago, and it went viral. Like everybody shared it everywhere. So I think that's one of the first times he's really brought that car out to the public since he built it.
I will say, I mentioned this on the last episode when we were at Darlington. We were stopping and talking to a lot of drivers, and I specifically mentioned how cool Tyler Reddick was. And I was like, I don't know what I was expecting, but he was just like very chill and like cool. And I was like, damn, I actually really like Tyler Reddick now.
He is one of the most genuine people that you'll ever meet. His family is too, his mom and dad, his sister. They're all great people. They kind of give you the shirt off their back kind of people. If Tyler was my size, I'd probably take it, but I don't know if I'd fit in his shirt. But they're just, what you see is what you get. I saw him show up. He was at Darlington with that Huck Gear hat.
Yeah, that's what we were talking to him about.
Yeah.
And they let him wear it with his fire suit to drive the intros. And I'm like, this is the most you've ever looked like in a fire suit. Like,
I literally was like, hey, dude, there goes Tyler Reddick. I just seen him like go between two boxes. I was like, let's go talk to him. Like, screw it. And I was like, hey, Tyler. And he was like, hey, man, what's up? And like, he just stopped and shot the shit with us for like 10 minutes. Like I was just wanting like a, hey, man, what's up? And he sat there and he's like, hey, y'all enjoying the weekend? What's up? What's y'all's names? Like he was excited to meet us or something. And we were like, dude, this is awesome.
Well, I think, that comes from, where we kind of came from. We, the week that I just got off from, we kind of met through that and through friends in that kind of community. So, you don't meet a stranger at that place. And I feel like he's kind of taken that into his career. And, it's kind of how I operate. If people want to come up and say hey to me, or like I want to go say hey to people. And, there's always been times like if Sam Bass, when I met him, had not been as friendly as he had been, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I want to make sure that
that's like a quote. Like you need to. Like,
that's a sick quote. Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm that way to everyone, because you never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to touch, who you're going to influence, and just that 5-second conversation can last forever in somebody's mind. And I'll never forget the first time I saw a NASCAR stock car. I went to a Rose's in my hometown, and there was a Mark Martin show car, and I got to see it. We made it there late. My mom was actually super late. And so we showed up right before they were putting it in the trailer. But my mom worked for Rose's corporate at the time in the automotive and toy department. So she had kind of facilitated this show car showing up, and we were late for it. But she got the guy to running around the parking lot so I could hear it before he put it.
That's sick.
I still vividly remember that number 6 hockey stick car, running around that parking lot. And I was hooked from that point. I was probably like 2.5, maybe 3 years old.
Where are you from? Where's your hometown?
If that show car driver hadn't been as cool as he was, who knows where I'd be, So
right.
Taking that extra minute, taking that extra time to really connect with people and say, hey, I really try to do that, and I appreciate everybody else who does the same.
Okay, what's your hometown? Where was that at?
So I'm from Oxford, North Carolina. It's a little blip on the radar right north of Durham. So if you're ever traveling from Charlotte to Richmond, you'll drive through it. If you're going up 85, you'll drive through it. We got a Walmart and a Cookout and like 3 exits.
I love Cookout. I'm good with that. I love Cookout.
So we got a Cookout my junior year of high school, so that was like the spot to go after the football game to pack out the Cookout.
Yeah, stay up until 3 a.m. or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, that's about all we got is a Walmart and a Cookout. And
you made it out. You made it out to the big city.
You're in the big leagues now, boy.
Yeah.
I went to East Carolina University right out of high school.
Yeah, my dad played football there.
Ooh, really? What year?
I don't remember. He's old. He's old as hell. Yeah, no, he played football there back in the day.
But there were some good teams back in the 90s.
He was on a good team, but I mean, he was probably early 80s, real early 80s. And yeah, he went there. Like all my cousins went there. Like half my family went there because I was born in Goldsboro in North Carolina.
Nice. Yeah. So that's like really not that far from Oxford.
Yeah.
North Carolina boys.
So all my family's like still out there. I grew up here in Texas, but
nice. So hey, I gotta ask: Are you a Eastern North Carolina barbecue or
Eastern North Carolina? It's not. Don't even ask the other one. It's Eastern North Carolina. That's the only good barbecue.
Pepper vinegar sauce.
It's the only thing that competes with the Texas brisket.
I agree.
Yeah, it's the only other one. My fraternity in Houston, I did a pig picking because nobody here knows what they do. Crawfish boils in Houston, and I was like, let's mix it up. And I did a pig picking, and everyone just lost their shit. They're like, this is the coolest thing because nobody's ever done it here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that was a weird thing until I went to Texas, and they were like, "You want to come over and do barbecue?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And they're like, "We're gonna smoke a brisket for 9 hours." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly.
What? So I love brisket now. Brisket was delicious, but having to convince them that barbecue was a different thing to me was kind of hard.
Texans don't like to be introduced to different types of things.
No,
it's Texans for nothing.
We're very strict on our ways, and so if you are like, here's the type of barbecue, they're like, what? No, this is pig. What are you talking about? But no, I love it back there. Got family back there. So yeah, big fan.
Yeah. So for the folks watching off screen, we talked about kind of a little bit of my past, and I spent a year out in Waco, Texas, working for late model restoration. So I had about a year and a couple of weeks of Texas under my belt.
In the worst part of Texas. For the people not from Texas, he was in Waco, and
it was so boring.
You might think it's cool because of that stupid home show. It's terrible. Lubbock are the worst places.
Go see the silos. Go to the Dr. Pepper Museum.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Waco Stadium, and then get out. Like
if you were driving between Austin and Dallas, you can stop and get gas there, and then keep going.
And you can see the stadium from the highway, so you don't even need to stop for that.
Well, you haven't been back since they built that new stadium, I don't think.
Yeah, no. So that was the new stadium had been open for just 2 or 3 years when I got there, maybe 2 years.
Okay, yeah, that new stadium's huge. It's crazy.
It is big. I don't know. They had built the RG3 statue, which I don't know. If they
that's a good one.
but they still had an RG3 shrine in the airport. Like they had it split down the middle, with one side was his Baylor jersey, and then they folded the Redskins jersey and had it on the other side. So, excuse me, the football team jersey.
Yeah. Whoa, Washington. Whoa, we don't use bad language here.
It was the other name back then. So, but yeah, so
that which we don't speak of.
They were still very much worshiping RG3 when I was there, so that was a while ago.
I think they still do. It's Baylor. They don't have much else to worship. That and Jesus.
Yeah.
But, so.
but yeah, it was an interesting year, and then right after that, I got the job at NASCAR. And
okay.
So what is NASCAR world ever since?
What's your official title then? Like, because it sounds like you do everything. What's the official title?
My official on the paycheck is graphic design manager. So what a boss. Taking on a lot of photography roles, like we do the studio shoots, like the subway stuff that you're all seeing come out today, and did all of that. And I shot third camera to my coworkers Ross and Wes, who are amazing. Speaking of Baylor, Wes just his previous job was Baylor, so he worked at Baylor Athletics and Vanderbilt before then. But yeah, man, I'm third camera. They call me the shaky cam because my hands aren't that steady even to be an artist. But I get the auxiliary footage that they might throw in a couple seconds.
Dude, I remember it was like a Fox thing, or I don't know what the hell it was. It was like Dixie Vodka, Custer, and Stewart on a dock sitting there, and you were like going by with the camera, and I was like, "There you go! Look, he's on TV." I was like the Leonardo meme. I was like, "Look."
Man, dude, that was the coolest thing. That was the first time I got to meet Tony. And everything boss. Everything that you could ever dream that Tony Stewart is, he is in real life.
Wow, that's another quote.
He carries it's the most swagger most natural swagger I have ever seen in my life.
Dude.
Did you try to pick a fight with him?
Oh no, I'm not that dumb.
In the back of your head, I just want to know, like, is he actually gonna fight anybody?
Look, I don't want the smoke. I don't want the
yeah.
Smoke is my boss. I don't want the smoke.
I think he'll fight anyone. I'm convinced. But I've seen enough videos of that guy.
He is such a professional. Like he just walked on set and never met me before and treated me like he'd known me his whole life.
Damn, that's cool.
That's G shit.
Taking suggestions, giving suggestions. Like he's been on so many commercial shoots. He's been on so many professional,
he's telling you what to do.
Yeah, it's me and my 4 coworkers that at the time had been in the job for 4 months, because we're all a relatively new team. We've basically built a brand new content team this year, but he was almost director, actor, and producer on the shoot. So it was very cool, and just the amount of natural comfort from the way that he talked, the way that he asked questions, to the way that he drank the drink. Like he was a Coca-Cola driver, so he's had plenty of experience in making sure that the bottle and the can is facing the camera at all times. Like you never had to tell him anything or make an edit, and he was just naturally funny, man, just off the cuff, like coming back at you.
That's cool.
With little quips, and it was hilarious because Cole's sitting there. Cole was the only one that really caught fish, and Tony was giving him hell the whole time, just picking on him, and Cole's trying to grab the fish and it's flopping all over the place, and he dropped one, but it was so cool, man.
I'd love to see footage of Tony Stewart picking on Cole Custer while he catches a fish. That sounds like the best thing I've ever heard.
Some of those lines made it into the final. So Stuart Haas's YouTube, look up Tony's Tea, Dixie Vodka. Cocktails with Cole is the name of the series. So,
dude, it's honestly hard for me to put a finger on Cole Custer. Like, I like the guy, but like, I just can't attach myself to him. I'm like, I need more pizzazz. I do like his, beer smash in Victory Lane and Xfinity series. That I was like, okay, boy. But then I'm also like, I forget he's in the race half the time.
Man, he's got 2 sides to him. Yeah, like we just shot another Cocktails with Cole a couple weeks ago, and it's him and his buddies. So it's gonna be, you're gonna see a little more of that. But it's he's really cool. All of our drivers are cool as heck. I haven't
Who's your favorite to work with? Beyond? I was gonna say
you're gonna say they're all cool, but
look, none of them are watching this, honestly.
Right. So none of them are gonna watch this.
They might watch.
No one at your work's watching this.
Man, I'll be honest. The one that has surprised me the most. I won't pick a favorite. I won't do that. But
all right.
I will say Chase Briscoe is he is a racer's racer.
The boy can drive.
One of the most genuine dudes. Like, things that I've learned so many things about him this year that I didn't know, that thankfully we're capturing on camera and showing to the world. So if you didn't watch the Road Home documentary we did it for Indy, where my coworker Ross followed him all week, like literally. They got there together on Thursday and they shot Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the way to the incident with Denny and, till the moment Tony put his arm around his neck and they had the little powwow.
Dude, great content. It was great content.
Amazing. And then just, seeing how he treats his team and seeing how he treats the people that, he's another one of those drivers that's, similar to Richard Petty, where he's not going to say no to an autograph. He's not going to say no to somebody that wants to come up and get a picture.
That's cool.
Well, hell, we tried to say hey to him, Darlington, and it was more like I could tell he was with guests at his hauler. I was like, man, we should say hey to him. But I was like, I don't want to be the guy to be like, hey.
Yeah, we didn't say hey to him.
We did? I don't remember. But I was like, whenever I see like a driver with a group of people, I'm like, I'm not going to interrupt.
Yeah, because
like,
he was busy. He
let
was
those people have their thing.
So, yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
I think he was with hospitality guests there for
See, what did I say? What did I say? What I told you Dakota
I
will
see
do
that
this.
Dale blanket back there though. That's next level.
I told you Dakota would do it at some point.
My bartender had to read.
I told you at some point he will get up randomly.
Harris, I'm head to toe legit. Don't listen to him.
But yeah, I mean, he's just one of those dudes that every time he's in the office, like he'll duck his head in your cube and say, "Hey," like that's cool. You can tell that he wants to be there. He's happy to be there. He's thankful for what you do, and like just that shot in the Road Home documentary where he went around and shook every hand of every crew member after practice because he was, he basically pretty much said in that video, he's like, I remember when I was sweeping floors and I was in the shop, and it always meant something to me when the driver showed me their appreciation. So. It's that same thing I talked about earlier, that giving back, that showing appreciation, that extra 2, 3, 30 seconds of your time that'll mean so much to somebody. And he's another driver that fully understands that and embodies it and lives it.
We talked about that type of behavior after our post Darlington episode. Reddick really was kind of the topic of this, but we talked and met with a lot of different drivers, and I was just talking about how I know it's probably annoying because we were talking about how we got to do a skit about somebody that just has an office job, but like people are standing outside the office trying to take pictures of him, and he's going to the water cooler. Can I get an autograph? So it's probably
sign my Joey Logano hat.
It's probably annoying. Like
that is a great idea for an
I know, right?
We got to get on top of it.
Okay, so
for like a legit NASCAR commercial, that's an amazing idea.
I know, right? If they steal it, as long as they put my name on it or something.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
So, but I was mentioning like how annoying it would be because like these guys are showing up to work, and part of their job is having to interact with fans. Yeah. But the biggest part of their job is like making sure they are prepared and ready to win a race. So it's probably frustrating. But if you are a driver that's willing to put in just that little bit extra effort when fans stop to say hi, even just turn and acknowledge, I'm like, I just think that goes so much further. Because I was like, I think I'm a Tyler Reddick fan now. I might go buy some merch just because of that one interaction.
I would recommend my 4 guys and him for sure, 100%.
So,
of course, your guys.
Which leaves me back in the corner against the ropes over here is being a diehard Kevin fan for life. Is everybody's always like, Kevin's an asshole. He's a dick. I was like, well, how many times a weekend does he have a Brad K fucking poster shoved in his face and he doesn't want to sign it? Or, hey, somebody in Kyle Busch gear wants to get a picture with him. And it's like, dude, his job is to come and race a car, not come and sign autographs. But however, that is a plus. But like, he's been doing this 20 plus years, man. Like, he's over it. All right, I get it. But then like, people, I told him before Darlington week, I said, I'm gonna see Kevin. If we have hot passes, I'm seeing Kevin. I don't care how he reacts to me. And I could tell he was kind of like, hey, I don't want to be bothered.
He did say that.
I was like, hey.
Dakota specifically told me beforehand, because I was like, what if he's a dick? Is that going to hurt your feelings? And Dakota was like, I could care less. He can ignore me and I'm still a diehard fan. And I was like, that's a good fan. That's a good fan.
So I could tell he didn't want to be bothered, but at least said hey and he acknowledged me.
He turned and acknowledged you.
So it was cool. I'm used to it. But I just so many people I meet are like, Kevin Harvick didn't take a picture of me. He's a dick. And I'm like, dude, he ain't there to take pictures, bro.
And I mean, you get to that level and a little bit of that.
That's the thing.
Probably wears off. But because you think about the era that he grew up in this sport, like
Yeah.
the absolute peak,
The height of this sport.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you had people tattooing 29s on the chest, and you had the
For
ladies,
real.
Mine's in the work.
coming
Mine's in the
with
work.
good wrench nails and like earrings, and so he's been through the ringer of all of it. But
20 years of people shoving shit in your face.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, but I can say working with him, man, he's a great guy, and he's wonderful to work with, and he understands that the things that we do and how we help him. I mean, he was awesome on the Subway shoot. He was having so much fun.
Dude, I was nervous because like Subway coming on, I was like, so I guess that's official. Jimmy John's is gone. But then I was also like, hey, big sponsor coming back in the sport.
Yeah, that's huge.
But I was like, oh God, green, yellow, white. I was like, what is this scheme gonna look like?
Green paint scheme.
Like?
The green paint scheme is coming.
Seeing it yesterday or today, whatever, I was like, dude, that looks good. I like it. How much influence did you have on that?
My coworker Derek, man, he knocked that out. Like I told y'all earlier,
it reminds me of the Gravedigger car with the yellow number.
Well, the Gravedigger paint scheme is the best. Is maybe one of the best of all time, in my opinion. It's going to go down in history.
Let me tell you a little secret on that Gravedigger paint scheme.
I would love to hear it.
Every Gravedigger monster truck is hand airbrushed and hand painted.
Really?
No way.
I didn't know that.
Not wrapped.
It's not a wrap?
It is not a wrap. Every single one of them is hand painted. So next time you see the Gravedigger go blow the body off of it and flip that thing upside down,
some dude's like,
no, he's rejoicing because that means he gets paid a lot of money.
He gets another job.
True. Job security.
What I'm getting at is when my coworker had to recreate it, he had to take photos, like just regular pictures of the side of this thing, and digitize them
because there was nothing digitized. Yeah.
This is the stuff we don't hear. This is behind the scenes stuff.
And he had to break it apart. He actually has this software that'll like scale up images. It's the real version of that bootleg stuff they used to do on CSI where they're like enhance. So
enhance.
He's got the real life version of it. So he had to take like Monster Jam sent us like pictures of the whole thing. And he had to basically go in and scale everything up and make it digital so that we could wrap it. And he matched the colors perfect. I mean, when the Gravedigger showed up sitting beside the car,
that was so cool.
Matched, the purples matched. Like
when y'all did like the Keelan teaser videos with like monster truck parts and shit, I was like, dude, they're doing a great. Like it was a lot of like, dude, they're doing a Gravedigger scheme, and I was like, oh my fucking God, this is about to be epic. And when it like y'all did the release thing, I was so happy I was at that race, but I was like, pre-order. Like
I'm waiting on mine too. I pre-ordered it. We released. I missed it on the first release, and then we had our morning meeting, and they were like, "We're putting out more at like 10 o'clock. So if you haven't got yours, get yours." And like I was like, right there at 10 o'clock.
That merch has got to be some of y'all's hottest merch. I mean,
but man, yeah, it was, and we legitimately surprised him. Like that was all real. Like we had him sitting up in the president's office, like he thought he was in like some kind of serious meeting. And then Keelan runs up and knocks on the door and is like, "Hey, come check this out."
And I'm not even gonna be like a hater with all the like crazy ass Bush schemes the last couple of years, but this was a banger. Like this, when this came out, I was like, "Thank you." Like finally some good fucking paint scheme.
See, here's the ironic thing is Dakota is a diehard Harvick fan. I am not. I have been public about how I'm not a fan of Harvick, but I have contested that I think Harvick consistently each season has the best paint schemes because it seems like Bush just wants to have fun with it, and they're willing to change it up a lot.
I'm okay with it, but it's the hashtags.
Dakota gets critical.
It's the fucking hashtags, man.
I actually like it, which is really ironic. Every time we pass Harvick Holler, I'm like, damn, if I was a fan, I would be losing all my money right now. Dakota's like, meh. So it's kind of ironic. I actually like how much like random paint schemes.
I like a lot of it, but then some of it's too much. I'm like, I can't do emojis and shit. I can't. I'm a traditionalist paint scheme fan. I'm critical about paint schemes, man.
Me too. I mean, but I will say Bush definitely has the most fun.
Yeah, I appreciate him doing it.
They're some of the most fun to work with too. I mean, to have a national brand that big be that lenient and open and like willing to try new things is unheard of.
True.
Half of their races they sacrifice their main product for either Busch Light Apple, or like we had the contest scheme earlier this year. Like, they will go out of their way to do something cool and something new. And
Dude, the Busch Apple goes hard. The Busch Apple goes. That scheme,
I love that.
That's one I've been like, yeah, okay, I like it.
I've said a few times that Busch is my favorite sponsor in NASCAR for that reason alone. Is they're willing to promote NASCAR and kind of just get wild with it and have fun with the fans. And so I really appreciate that as a fan. And I think more brands should do that. I don't see the downside in that, because I feel like you're out there for, brand awareness. Really. It's not like you're increasing sales necessarily directly. Yeah. You're out there for brand awareness. So have fun with it. And
I mean, as big as specialty schemes used to be, like the Winston and things like that, I feel like Busch is the last sponsor that really makes a specialty scheme feel special. Like they don't just run a different scheme. Like we'll do a campaign behind it. Like, the millennial car.
That's true.
I was working in NASCAR at the time, but that millennial car, like,
dude, as much as silly and stupid as it was, I was honestly like, when he was out there leading, I was like, dude, if he wins in this thing, I will get the race version. Like, I don't care.
They made Kevin eat avocado toast. Like, bro,
dude, his fire suit that race was fly as shit.
It was.
Was it fire?
Great.
It was, yes. It was on fire.
It was fire.
It was white and pink. Like, that thing looked fresh as shit.
Yeah, that was one of the best storylines of that entire season. I'm not gonna lie.
And then they ran the Gen X car right after.
Right.
It was all like
yeah, that one, dude, that car looked slick. And I was like, man, I wish you ran it at like Daytona or something. Like, that car looked so good for Pocono.
But man, we definitely have a lot of fun.
Dude, shout out. The throwback this year was slick as hell. I love the rookie commemorative, but I'm just hoping, I'm going to assume Kevin's got a year or two more left, but I just want to see a good wrench, like 06 throwback, the fucking orange stripe in there. I don't know what influence you have down the road, but I just hope we get a throwback to that Kevin days, maybe his retirement year.
Well, we got to see what throwback's going to look like next year, and if they let us do the standard number placement.
So this is okay.
This is we should get a pro.
This was going to be my next question for you, because I know you don't directly handle the paint schemes, but it seems like you do have.
I have some influence.
Influence. Yeah, you're part of it at least. Yeah. Has this been a big topic in the shop of number placement, next gen car, what the paint schemes are going to look like? Yeah,
and I mean, it's been a thing that's been on our desks for a little while. So I think all I can say is that we're working on it, and so far what we're working on is promising. So
where do I sign the petition to leave the numbers where they fucking are?
Trust me, if I can't do anything about it, neither can you. So
it's driving me crazy. It's one of our biggest issues on this podcast.
It's like, I can do with the package. I can deal with these crazy road courses. I can deal with the thought of a city course, but the fucking number placement is my biggest on the fence. Like, don't fucking do it. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I'm extremely glad that they went with the number forward.
Yes, I'll give them that. I'll give them that.
So the number in the front leaves us all that room to play with. The number in the middle kind of just awkwardly chop things up.
So I can deal with, like, I've seen some renders or some
but it's always like people online doing it.
Or whatever. I can deal with like the slightly forward. I can deal with slightly forward.
You gotta think about how much money is behind those paint schemes and keep
it
secret, and
we always say, or what?
My prediction is, people will show up to Daytona or will show up to the Clash at the Coliseum.
We're gonna get there.
I'm gonna say that each team is gonna have their own interpretation of what it looks like behind the number.
Oh Lord,
I like that idea.
That's how it's gonna be. I mean, I know. I am 100% confident that each team is going to have a different interpretation of how to use that space.
So check it out. I don't know why this hasn't been talked about more. I feel like NASCAR, they want to move the numbers to help incentivize more sponsorship, more ad placement. Why not just let teams dictate where they want the number to be based on their sponsorship?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't.
Because I wouldn't be against that idea if it was like, it's up to the teams. If they want to move it, if that's your favorite driver and you're mad that he moved it, then talk to the driver. Like, NASCAR can,
What really hurt it was the Kurt Busch 2311 reveal. They butchered the shit out of that.
God,
It looked like trash.
Dude, Austin Dillon's looked bad too, though. I didn't like
the
that
ones
3.
where they move it slightly forward to the A post, I can deal with it.
Right.
And the sponsor going.
Yep.
But when it's like slammed against the front wheel and there's just a random sponsor there, I can't do it. I mean, Harris, I wish we could put you in charge of every team, but I just pray that some teams take advantage of this opportunity. It is what it is. We're still going to watch cars race around the track.
We definitely are.
Like I said, my prediction is that, each team's going to show up with a different version of what it looks like behind that number, and we'll figure out whichever version works best. And the way we do it now, the way each team kind of has the same usage, we figured out how to use the C-pillar. We figured out how to use the spot in front of the wheel. We figured out how to use the rear fit quarter. I have a feeling by mid-season next year, all the cars are going to have logos in similar spots.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like then. I don't hate that idea.
The beginning will probably be like a rough draft.
There'll be some trial and error. I mean, like with every change, there's going to be some trial and error. There's going to be some things that move around, and some work better than others.
Hell, like the All-Star last year, there were some teams that hit it out of the park, and some was like, what the fuck were y'all doing, dude? Like,
so I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a cool time in the sport to watch, how the designs change and how things kind of mold and mesh together until we find a sweet spot. So it's going to be interesting.
So were you at Richmond? I know we met up in Darlington. Were you at Richmond?
I was not. So last
week,
you were
Mustang Week stuff. Burnouts. I seen the stories.
Last week was my big workcation, I call it, because I throw a big event at Mustang Week, which is a week-long event in Myrtle Beach. It's the largest Mustang
Rattlesnake
on the East Coast.
That's where my parents live.
Now, is that a yearly thing? Or
yeah? So it's happened yearly. This year was the 20th year.
Oh shit!
So pretty wild.
So you're gonna go next year, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I can meet up with you next year there.
Yeah, go for it.
We might have to check it. I have to check that out.
Labor Day. So I stay down in Murrells Inlet.
Yeah.
So right
I know Murrells Inlet.
Surfside Beach, Murrells Inlet area on the south side.
My parents live just inside Myrtle, on the border of North Myrtle and Myrtle.
Nice.
Yeah. So I definitely know where that's at, and I will be going next year.
Heck yeah.
Bet.
Did you watch Richmond though? Because it sounds like you might have been busy.
I watched a little bit of it. I was kind of in and out. I saw who won. Watched a few things, but I didn't pay 100% attention. I saw that big hit Kurt Busch took.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
my
that's
boy Kurt. Yep.
It was a classic Richmond, man. It was typical Richmond, comers and goes. I will give there was tire fall off. I appreciate. We did have Kurt Busch debacle or Kurt Busch gate. They 2 laps before the restart, his left rear was black and like low as shit, and like TV just bypassed it and they restarted, and it was like, yo, his tire's like black. It looks off. And then 2 laps later, he blows the left rear and driver sides it into the fence. Terrible for points. I thought he was screwed on a must-win situation, and all of a sudden, Kurt Busch is still tied with Alex Bowman.
Well, he's just in.
Just in.
Right.
But we're taking Kurt Busch on the fit backed into a corner at Bristol.
Hey,
I'll take those odds.
That's what I want to see.
On the show was it 2-3 years ago at Bristol? He was still SHR, wasn't he?
That's my boy. Yeah, in the 41.
Yeah, man. That was 41. My buddy was at that race, and
I was at that race.
He was in the Monster Suite and ended up in victory lane with him.
Oh, dude, how sick!
Damn.
Yeah, that was the one Kurt got in the wreck early with Kyle Busch in like lap 5, and Kurt got damaged. They taped the whole front end, and he came back to win it.
Yeah, I'm a big Kurt fan, man. I've been a fan of Kurt for.
He's a cool guy, man.
Yeah. We got to talk to him at Darlington, dude. Kurt was like, the hospitality was insane, and Kurt was just like, "Hey, what's up? What y'all doing?" And I was just like blown away.
He's another one of those just genuine people, Yeah.
Like,
I got to work with him through my buddy and design his Ford GT and stuff. I think it was the same year.
That thing's sick. That thing is sick.
He was in the 41 still, so I got to hang out with him. Got to drive his GT for like 13 feet. So that's my 13 feet. I got to pull it back in the drive.
So you were the valet, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, literally. I pushed the button. I pushed the gas about that far to go 13 feet, and that was it.
Dakota was so proud that Kurt Busch gave him a Monster Energy drink. Dakota
Dude,
was super
that was
proud
huge.
about that.
That was huge to me.
Hey,
being-
get a monster from him. That's just
Dude, being a
That's what he
monster,
was saying.
being a monster addict like myself, just being like Kurt. Well, first of all, my wife's a huge Kurt fan. She's head to toe Kurt, and I was rubbing it in her face, and we're hanging out with Kurt at the monster trailer, and then I was like, I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I was like, can I have a monster? He was like, yeah, dude, take a ton of them. And I was like, I only want one. And I was like, I have to take an OG monster. I'm not even gonna take a flavored
Also,
one.
I need the real deal there.
Dakota, did you see
What?
Eric Estep got a little clip of us
Yeah.
talking about
I've
Dylan?
seen it in his video, his Darlington recap. We were
that was cool.
Eric Estep, the godfather of YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
We were in
Finally
his
got to meet
video.
him in Darlington, man.
Yeah. Dude,
I've
he
known
was
him for
hanging
a
out
while,
with us so
actually.
much. I was like, where's our interview? What the fuck?
Yeah, I've known him for a while because he lived in Austin. And so he actually was on my podcast from like episode 1.
Nice.
So yeah, it's good being able to catch up with him when he's at races. His tall ass, you can't miss him.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the height is definitely real. Like,
Yeah,
they're
people
not
don't
lying
really
about
realize
that.
it until you see him and you're like, oh shit, you're like 7 feet tall. Like this
I
is
mean, he was perfect for that night at the museum ride. Like, if you're gonna have anybody be the bellhop there, it's like,
exactly.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a
Right.
cool dude though. Yeah, it was good seeing him.
I actually have one of my weirdest pieces of NASCAR memorabilia that's Kurt Busch related. If you
Really?
Oh, go get it.
Go get it, bro. Go get it.
Yeah, for all of our audience, me and Dakota will recap Richmond in the next episode because we're just having too much fun talking with Harris.
There's not much to talk about. Martin,
I don't know why.
What the
This is a Kurt Busch 2004 championship fireman's helmet.
dude. You can't. That is very
Nextel
odd.
fireman's helmet.
However, it's year. It's championship season. That is awesome.
And it's signed, and you'll never believe how I got it.
Okay.
I probably won't. I don't know how you come about autographed fireman's helmet.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's
at NASCAR, when I was working on the 20th floor, which is the top floor, like the executive level, was cleaning out their office. And they just left this in the break room for anybody to have.
What the fuck?
And they also left this, which is a signed 2005 All-Star Race Mark Martin champagne bottle that never got
Dude,
opened.
I'd be snatching shit left
So,
and right.
like, I walk in the break room to get a monster and literally walk out with 2 of the coolest pieces of memorabilia that I've ever had.
Dude, so I honestly feel like probably 15% of NASCAR executives and workers are like actual fans of the sport, and the rest is just like a job. Like
Also,
it's my job.
also
Like,
Harris.
Think about somebody that's been there long enough to have gotten this. How much more cool stuff they've gotten
Right.
since this.
right.
So, like, this in the grand scheme of probably what they have is nothing. But
Also,
to me, I was like, holy crap, look at
Yeah,
this.
I'm snatching.
I love imagining this scenario where Harris is like, I walked in the break room and they left these things just for anyone to grab,
Dude.
and then he takes them, and then an executive
Somebody comes
walks
back
in and
like, "Where's my Kurt helmet?"
they're like, where the fuck is my
Hey,
autographed
look,
shit? Like I
I
left
had
it
it on
here.
I had it on my desk after that. So if they ever needed it, they would have seen it. But yeah,
It was just left there for me to take.
The break room was like if it was sitting on this one table in the break room,
Oh, I know
fair
the table.
game. And somebody,
Everybody's
Damn,
got that
dude.
table. Yep.
yeah, every time somebody would clean out an office, that table would be full of cool stuff to go
Mhm.
grab. So like diecast, I ended up with like every NASCAR media guide from like 1985 to like 93. So like all the old Winston Cup stuff, like it was nuts what people would.
Damn,
still
dude.
had. Yeah,
The
and,
Holy
like,
Grail,
I took home a bunch of stuff. But,
dude. That
Alright,
is
so-
sick.
this was,
So I know.
I don't know why they had firemen's helmets at Victory Lane, but I guess they were doing this and trying to hit each other with champagne corks.
That was for the after. That was for the after championship festivities. They didn't.
I
want you to
guess
know about.
protect you from champagne.
You don't want to
corks.
know who was wearing that helmet before you.
Ain't no telling. But I've had it for like 4 years now. I think it was my first year when all that stuff came up. Somebody went through and got rid of a bunch of cool stuff.
So I know the news just came out today about the LA Coliseum Stadium and how we are running there. I don't know what you can say because you're like technically a representative of a team, but thoughts? Dakota, what do you think?
Dude, okay.
Dakota,
So, I
you
mean,
can say whatever you want. You don't represent shit.
We'll brush the tip of what is projected to. I guess the schedule leaked. Okay, for everybody that didn't fucking know already.
And we'll
The
go into
schedule
more
leaked.
detail later this
Next
week
episode, we'll get
about
into the
that.
schedule,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're going to LA. We're going to California for a third race. Okay, LA Coliseum. It's a football field.
It's a football stadium. Yep.
We're gonna pave a racetrack and make it a Bowman Gray of the West or some shit. I am open to being on the fence, and prove me wrong after the race. I will eat my words, but this just sounds like a gimmick. It sounds silly. It sounds like we're going to a football field with NASCAR cars, and like I don't know what the hell to think. There's not even a racetrack there, so I don't know. I have nothing to base off of. Some fans are, calling me stupid. Some fans are saying this is awesome, but
so they're both right.
I think the Clash shootout belonged on the Daytona Superspeedway. I'm a traditional fan. I love the shootout. I love the Clash. It was fine. We didn't have to change it. We went road course racing. It sucked. So now we're just making up racetracks. But I will give it to NASCAR for trying different things. I don't know. I don't know what to think. What about you, Harris?
Personally, I think it's going to be dope. I know it's going to be probably a logistical headache. And there's going to be some things that people have to figure out. But, I mean, a quarter-mile track in itself is like that's the track you were running the mile on in high school, right?
That sounds
4
fun.
laps was a mile in high school, right? So when I was running the 400, in high school, that was 1 lap at that track. It's the Clash, so it's a smaller field. It's 20-ish cars. So you're not packing 40 cars onto it.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I think if you're going to do anything in the LA Coliseum, it's got to be the Clash. I don't really see feasibly running a 40-car field on that track. I mean, Bowman Gray packs their track with I don't know how many cars, but
yeah,
it's similar to that. And, it's the week before the Super Bowl in prime time on Fox.
See, you make it sound a little bit better.
I mean, it makes sense. If you look at all the things around it, if you look at it on surface level, it's like, okay. But if you look at all the things around it.
Are we paving a new surface? Or are we? What are we doing?
I watched the Race Hub before I came on here because I knew I was coming on here.
Look at you, boy. Polished
they said
up.
there was going to be a big announcement. So I was like, if we're going to talk about anything, it's probably going to be that.
Right.
But Ben Kennedy was on there, and he said they're building a temporary asphalt oval.
What the hell does that mean?
So I'm assuming they're going to lay down asphalt on some kind of, whether it's I don't know what kind of base they're going to make, but it's probably a base that'll be able to, you'll be able to cut it up and take it out, bust it up when it's done. But
jeez,
I guess
I'd be pissed. They got to be paying a pretty penny. I was going to say, I'd be pissed for the guys that are like, we're laying this asphalt just for them to tear it up, or like, or the guys that got to tear it up.
Paid, okay.
Yeah. Somebody's getting paid.
You got to think, like I'm sure the LA Coliseum has Monster Jam come through.
So is it asphalt?
No, Monster Jam is dirt.
No, is the track going to be asphalt?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Okay,
it's asphalt, half-mile asphalt oval.
Okay. My thing is, so we're going to, down the road, we're taking the All-Star to Texas. Why not take the All-Star back to LA Coliseum? I will sign up for that 10 times over Texas.
I think but I think, you look at the amount of other stadiums that are in the United States, and if we can prove we can prove that this works.
So this is where I wanted to go with
You got a point. You got a point.
This is where I wanted to go with this.
I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about that until I watched it on Race Hub today. I have no insider information. But as soon as I saw that, I'm like, all right, if this works, we're opening up opportunities to go into some of the largest.
Let's just go to every football stadium and lay down a track.
We're opening up opportunities to go to some of the largest markets in the world that we've never touched before.
Yeah, so that's definitely what I wanted to talk about. Is I don't hate the idea of running the short track inside a football stadium, although I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna probably have like 20,000 people in a 90,000 stadium, and people say Bristol looks bad. I think this is gonna look terrible, honestly, in terms of fan attendance. I mean, I just watched the USC game week 1, and they couldn't even fill it up, and that's USC. So I don't hate the idea of a football stadium with a short track. I'm not sure if LA's it. I think maybe hit some other cities.
It's like it's a good first start. I guess.
I just think hit some other cities. Like I know we're I mean, we're going to talk more about the schedule later on this week, but like St. Louis has an empty dome with a football stadium where they run dirt races. I mean, the Gateway Nationals go in there, something like that, like a Midwest city where I think maybe there might be some more race
I'm okay with doing
fans.
Bristol dirt for the Clash and then do 2 regular Bristol races through the season.
Where is the Super Bowl this year? Is the Super Bowl in LA too?
I have no idea.
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. Is it LA right now? Because I know they were building that stadium.
Nathan will drop it in the comments in about 5 seconds. So I have no idea where the Super Bowl is going to be this season. I have not.
It's in LA. So
it's in LA.
So that's why they're doing it.
The week before the Super Bowl.
That's good marketing.
Okay.
Like, hey, you're going to see the Super Bowl here 1 week before the Super Bowl.
All right, so
NASCAR's coming to
I
town.
take back everything I just said. That's actually a pretty good idea.
And I worked a lot with the LA department at NASCAR. That's where all the celebrity department is. That's where they procure the music talent and all that stuff. Is the LA department at NASCAR. And I got full confidence that they are working overtime to make sure that there's people
I hope
in that
so.
stadium.
Okay.
There's people in that stadium that will bring more people to that stadium.
All right. You need to message your buddies at NASCAR and tell them we're tired of Luke Combs concerts. We need some different genres. We need some more personalities publicizing the sport.
Give me some Van Halen, some Journey.
Yeah, I've
ZZ
seen enough.
Top.
I've seen enough mainstream radio country concerts at pre-races. I'm good.
I brought Big Baby Scumbag to Daytona.
Wow.
I had Big Baby Scumbag out there at the 2020 Daytona 500. So
see, Harris, we gotta hang out with you in Darlington. We gotta hang out with you in Darlington for like a brief second. But I want to hang out with Harris outside the track.
Yeah,
like,
the problem is he's always working.
One of these race weekends, we're gonna hang out and have a beer, and we'll get to the nitty gritty.
And then we'll get him drunk and fired. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Well, good. You can't get me drunk anymore. I've been sober for 2 years.
All right.
Oh well, now I feel like a degenerate.
It's all right.
While we're like chugging beers and talking.
Yeah, Harris, I'm proud of you.
Hey, I told y'all I went to East Carolina.
That's right.
I learned how to drink. I didn't learn how to drink responsibly.
Yeah, so, that is a party school, boy.
For 2 years, I've been dry, and I haven't looked back. But
yeah, that's
I
good.
got all my drinking out of the way at an early age, and I'm good now.
How much weight did you lose, like, immediately from not drinking beer?
Man, you can look at, so the last race I drank at was this Coke 600 2019.
Damn, he knows the damn race.
And you can look, well, it was like the week after I quit drinking. But you can look at the pictures from that race and then look at the pictures from the Roval in October, and your boy's jawline was back.
Right.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
Post Talladega, I'm done drinking.
You don't have to cut it out completely, but
yeah,
switch to some clear liquor, or,
That's something we can talk about.
Why do you think I'm so fat, man? Beer makes you fat.
Honestly,
Dixie vodka makes a real good product with a lot of flavors.
Just wait till you have kids. That whole not drinking thing goes out the damn window.
But yeah, hey, and Dixie vodka is now making canned drinks that are a little bit lighter than beer. And
okay,
really good. We need some samples sent over to the Chairgatin.
Right, there you go. Now I'm interested.
We got Tony's tea. You can drink a drink with Tony Stewart's face on it.
Damn, dude, you need to they need to pay you more.
Hey, look, I make all the graphics for them, so I know all the info.
Harris, you gonna be at Bristol this weekend?
I'm not, man. We've got Justin Potter going, and my coworker.
You're a piece of shit. Damn it, boy.
We got a good crew going.
Do they tell you hey, you're going to this race, or are you can I go to that race?
Well, we work together. We build a schedule.
Okay.
We got me and Justin that do photo, and you got Ross and West that do video, and West dabbles in some photo too.
Okay.
So we trade off. Honestly, I'm the lone social media graphic guy. We hired an agency called Foxhammer that kind of bolsters some of my stuff and does a little bit of some story creation, some YouTube images, and they do some of our in-race graphics. So if you see an on-the-move graphic or you see our race results, it comes through them. But if we win and when we win, I'm the one that's at home, typing away and getting those graphics out. So when Eric won earlier this year, I was making all the win graphics and putting everything together. So
you're the cat gift.
My keyboard smoking up and going as much as his burnout was. But they like to leave me at home base just in case, because when something like that happens, I want to be the one on the case.
You're the go-to guy
I like to think I am, but I get to go like I love Darlington, so obviously I volunteered for Darlington.
Darlington's awesome.
And I'd always wanted to go to Michigan. I actually got that one by the luck of the draw.
Okay.
That was one of my.
Hold on. I gotta ask about this because me and Dakota have been talking about Michigan for a while now. Is it actually as fun as like people say from up north? Because they say it's a lot.
It's a northern Dega, I hear.
Yeah, I can tell you, we rolled in to the track at like 8:39 in the morning, and the amount of hungover zombies I saw walking from their camper to the bathroom, I know Saturday night was a good night. Because it was just, I mean, you're talking about beer can mountains and just guys just.
It looks like a fun time, man. I've always wanted to go to Michigan.
And man, the crowd was crazy. Like that was the first race I've been back to where I like looked up in the stands and I was like,
hell yeah.
All right, this is a NASCAR race.
Hell yeah.
Do you ever take a second, like you're on pit road doing pre-race pictures or pictures during the race, and you're just like, look at what I'm doing right now. Like, holy shit.
All the time.
Just soaking it in.
All the time, man. Especially like this was the first time I've been at Darlington. Well, I was at Darlington with a vest back in May, but those vests work differently than the purple vest.
Right.
When we had the team vest, we were just kind of attached to pit road. We couldn't go in the photographers' areas, but when you got that licensed video purple vest and you can just walk past the fence and go down there and stand right on the wall. Like, I'm standing down in 3 and 4 watching the sunset, taking pictures of all the cars, and just like this for the first time I've been past that fence at the end of pit road and been able to go down there, and it's just like, all right, when am I going to wake up from this? You know?
Yeah, like you're like, what would 9-year-old me think right now,
dude? And that's literally what I ask myself every day, like. You know, what would 8-year-old, 9-year-old me do, and what would he be thinking? Even
that was me just getting a hot pass. Like that's Dakota, how I felt.
Dakota was a kid in a candy shop for real.
Well, it never gets old. I'll tell you one thing: it never gets old. Being on pit road never gets old. Being down there, smelling, feeling, hearing everything about NASCAR never gets old.
That was me for Darlington, dude. Like. I've never had a hot pass, or I've been on pit road and stuff, but I've never got to like just walk willy-nilly wherever I wanted to pre-race. And I was a kid in candy store just blown away, like, oh my gosh, this is it. I made it.
I still grab lug nuts over the pit wall every
time I go
to the track. Like I still take home a lug nut from every
Harris, get some Kevin lug nuts and sell them.
Harris is gonna get any lug nuts and be like, yeah, sure.
These are Kevin's.
I don't
if you have a hot pass, you can hang out and reach over the
see, that was the thing we talk about. Because, like, after we were down there for hours. So, like, when the race started, we went up to the stands and we didn't come back. And we talk about, we're like, we should have went back down there.
Yeah.
We should have come down.
We're just being lazy.
We were tired.
Laps. I don't blame you, dude. I walked 4 miles that day.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
And then
I
was parked in general parking in my Mustang that's a 5-speed. My feet feeling like they were about to fall off.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. We were literally like, I was like, now thinking about it, I'm like, we should have went back down there. We should have went for post-race stuff. We should have just gone as far as we could go. And then, but we were so whooped. After the race, we're like, let's go back to the truck.
Yeah, let's just go home.
It was a long day too, because I mean, we had to get there at 11. We had to get there at 11 for the cars to roll in, and then we got all that shot and shooting all the crew guys, and then we had like 2.5, 3 hours to wait while the truck race happened.
Right.
So like there was like a hurry up, get everything, and then like, okay, wait. And then it was like, all right, here's the race, full throttle. So my dumb butt during that like 2-3 hour period of wait, I went and scouted out locations, and I should not have. I should not have walked because I went and walked to one end of the track during the truck race.
Hey, good thing you got them fresh J's on, dude. Them Earnhardt bad boys.
I should have had my orthopedics on, man. Because I ran them J's into the ground that day.
Damn it.
But yeah, like I was like, oh, I'm going to go get some sample shots and make sure I can get the good angles. And I made sure I could get the good angles. But by the time stage 3 rolled around, my feet were like, dude, it's time to go.
Well, if Stuart Haas is listening right now, you are the guy. You're out there busting your butt. You're damn putting in the extra work and time that you didn't have to do. And, I mean, you're just an example of a great employee.
And also, one thing I wanted to ask, what's the next race you're going to? We ask everybody, every guest. We got to know.
Possibly Phoenix. So
Phoenix?
I'm
that's like 8 races from now.
I know, man. Well, I've got like 3 weddings.
Ooh.
And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's wedding season, baby.
My girlfriend's birthday is the 30th of October. So like
Oh,
October,
that
October
weekend's off.
Yeah, October is done for me, man. Like I think I got a wedding on the 1st, and then there's one weekend where there's nothing, and then the next weekend's a wedding, and then Emily's birthday.
Damn.
So like I'll be on the couch waiting for something to happen and watching the race from home for the next couple of weeks, or watching the race from wherever we're at for the next wedding we go to.
Hell, I don't know how much I can plug. Doesn't your girl work in NASCAR as well?
Yeah, she works for Truex Management Group, so she had a real good night on Saturday night.
How sick is that?
It's pretty cool, man. She's
did y'all meet before NASCAR, or did y'all just like meet through NASCAR?
So we met because I was working at the building uptown in NASCAR.
Yeah.
And I was on Tinder on my lunch break.
You dog, you. I knew it. You were over here like, I'm sober. I'm a good guy. I don't cuss. And look at you. Look at you.
This was 5 years ago we're talking about. So,
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, she was staying uptown looking for an apartment because she's from upstate New York.
And she's swiping right on every NASCAR dude she sees.
Pretty much. But no, we swiped right on each other, and
you dog.
We were both graphic designers, so like we had a whole great conversation.
How sick is that?
Bunch of design puns, and well, she like brushed me off for like 8 months after she got to Charlotte, though. Like she got into Charlotte, and we were both doing our thing for a little while, and like we finally, I guess, right after I went to my first Daytona 500, which was 2017, we finally agreed to like. I kept asking her on dates. Like I kind of knew.
Being a gentleman, of course.
I knew that she was going to be a catch, and so I kept asking her out on dates, and she wasn't in the mood to really.
Dude, she works for Truex. She works for Truex.
She didn't yet, but yeah. So like she moved down here to work for a creative agency. She is a graphic designer.
Okay.
She was just working for a regular ad agency at the time. But yeah, we finally decided that we were going to go to Chick-fil-A after work one day.
Oh,
like,
wow, you man.
Romantic.
Clothes, and she showed up in her gym clothes, and like,
oh yeah, she was putting on extra thick.
Neither one of us. Now, full transparency, she had texted me like 2 months before, asking me for advice because she had swiped right on a driver, and I was like, you really have the audacity to ask me to do that?
That's yeah. What the?
That was the PG version of what I said. So, like 2 months later, all right, let's just go meet up. And we ended up staying at Chick-fil-A long enough for the workers inside to stop asking us if we needed a tea refill.
Boy, you slid on
there for a while. And just talking, and like from that point on, we've been pretty much together.
That's awesome, dude.
She drew her first car in 2018, taking a freelance project through Greg at Off Axis for Martin's merch store. And that ended up turning into the job and the career that she has. So now she manages Tyler Ankrum and Ryan Truex and Will Rogers. And it's, she designed Ryan Truex's hot tub time machine truck and all the marquee.
Dude, that thing looks so sick.
Nice.
It's like so 90s. That thing looks so good.
And like his hot tub sponsorship, Marquee is like the coolest sponsor ever. Like, they just, they pay him to sit in a hot tub and talk to people. Like, you can't ask for a better sponsor.
Dude, Ryan Truex honestly doesn't give the like respect or like the opportunity he deserves, I feel. Like the boy can drive and he's got like outgoing personality.
Yeah. And he's another one of those just real dudes, man. Like, he does it because he loves it, and he has a Twitch stream and he races with people and like just one of the most genuine dudes. But,
so do you and your girl go back and forth on like, hey, help me with this design, or what should I do with this?
No, man, she straight roasts my stuff, bro. Like, like there's no gloves on in this house. When
it's like that's lame as hell.
She'll look, man. She's always looking for something too. Like she will catch a typo and I will never hear the end of it. Or like
that is so funny.
I have something like a hair off center, and I'll never hear the end of it. So yeah,
like the numbers next year.
Yeah, well, that's every number is gonna be off center next year. But yeah, man, she keeps me straight, and she actually, for the Mustang Week stuff, she's basically my head organizer for all the retro meet stuff that I do, and somehow I ended up becoming the face of that event, and she's the brains behind it. So. I don't know why my face ended up being that, because hers is way prettier than mine, but But man, she keeps me afloat and keeps me going, and we're a heck of a team when we.
You're the man, dude.
I definitely have been lucky, and like I said, I've pinched myself so many times at this point. I should probably be as purple as Barney, but I'm thankful to be where I'm at, and I'm thankful to have the friends that I have, and y'all are two of them, man. It was awesome meeting y'all at Darlington.
Boy, let's go.
Thankful. I mean, I've been watching y'all and paying attention to y'all, and we've been trying to link up for forever. I still hadn't made it to Talladega, so
dude, are you serious?
I need to come with y'all to Talladega next year.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I got a wedding on the Talladega weekend.
We
all right,
do
next
Talladega.
year you pencil in Spring Dega and you take the night off from work and you come hang out with your boys.
Yeah.
I will be pounding Bud Zeros.
That's fine. That's fine.
All night with y'all.
We can hang out. We can hang out with Chase also. He pounds those. It's
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah. So, dude, Spring Dega next year will be. Spring Dega is the Dega. Fall Dega is fun, but Spring Dega is the Dega.
All right. I got to see Dega Boulevard on my own too.
Dude, yes, I will be your guide. Just come with me. It's,
all right.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'll put it in the calendar right now.
That's my boy, dude.
All right, where can people find you? Obviously, there's Harris Lou, and then there's Lou Creative. Like, where should we find you?
Well, at Harris Lou on Twitter, if you want to, see what I'm doing in the NASCAR world. Sometimes I post Mustang stuff there, but if you want to see, my art, my Mustang stuff, a lot of car pictures, that's at Lou Creative on Instagram. And LouCreative.com is my living portfolio. I try to update it every now and then. And then I have my own merch store that's mostly Mustang merch, but I do have some logo stuff on there that's just my LC. But shoploucreative.com is where you can find any of my merchandise, how you can support me monetarily. I do a lot of Mustang themed and car themed stuff on there.
I'm buying a Mustang. That's it.
It's that's where to find me. Lou Creative has been very good to me. I started that. That was actually one of my branding projects in college, and I was Lou Design first, and then somewhere I saw the word lucrative, and I think I was reading a book for my English class, and I saw the word lucrative, and I was like,
"That's it,
creative.
That's it."
I made that work. So since 2013, I've been known as Lou Creative professionally, and it's been the freelance business that has built my financial success and been my bolster.
Look at you now, son.
I told you when I moved back to Charlotte, I was paying double rent for like 5 months because Texas they wouldn't let me out of my apartment lease, and Texas law allowed my apartment to hold me to that lease. So without Lou Creative and without some of the clients I had in my early days, I wouldn't have made it through that and wouldn't be sitting here. So it's kind of my little side gig. I did some stuff for Hooters this year with Chase Elliott, and I've done a couple of.
Didn't you help design a T-shirt or something?
I did. So I did their vintage, their throwback merch this year.
I'm sorry, I gotta keep this going, but that T-shirt is fucking bomb. I'm not even a Chase fan, but I want that fucking.
Yeah, the throwback Hooters stuff is sick.
That shit's sick.
Hooters Racing Shop, but yeah, we got to recreate that old Alan Kowicki poster too with the trophies and the girls.
That's the one, dude.
I think not to continue this, but I think I remember in the podcast me mentioning that was the best because they had so many of his throwbacks.
I'm not a Chase fan.
Well, they had so many of his throwbacks, but I was like, you got to go Hooters. That was my favorite. That was my favorite of all of them. So.
It's the T-shirt for me, bro.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, Monica at Hooters, I've been campaigning for years on Twitter to every time they would post something, I'd post that poster of Alan, I'm ready to recreate this when you are. And then finally, they actually reached out.
Do they sell the poster?
They did. We sold the poster. We sold it as a flag. I've got the poster in my garage.
I might have to look into that. That's actually.
So if you go on Hooters Racing Shop, I think they still got some left.
It's Chase Elliott, but
I'll wear it.
Well, I mean, you got the Hendricks shirt on. Is that Larson there?
He's a poser. Don't listen to him. He's not even a Larson fan.
Look, man,
he's a poser.
Aside from Mark Martin, it's all Mobil 1 in this family, man. You can't be wearing Falcons around me.
I just dropped my microphone.
I'm still flashing back to my Shell Pennzoil Kevin Harvick days. I don't talk. I mean,
that's a dope hat. But dude, man, what about Daytona when
this is what happens after a few beers and you're
Cole
still
Custer
podcasting.
was running beside Joey, and Cole's car looked like the Mark Martin Army car.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, man.
He had that
such bad flashbacks
because Cole's kind of just mid-pack, dude. He's had some stellar 41 schemes.
Yeah.
And even at Richmond, he had a good look one. But yeah, when he had that one and the 22 was dude.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'd
a
always
Pennzoil car.
people hate on like Joey Logano runs that classic Penske Pennzoil scheme, and a lot like I have a buddy that's a Logano fan, and it's like, dude, it's the same scheme every week, or he runs some off schemes, Auto Trader or whatever, and or AAA, and but. It's like, dude, one day we're gonna look back at that Pennzoil Penske scheme and be like, that's a throwback, or that's an iconic paint scheme.
For it to have lasted as long as it has, I mean, we're in the 11th year of that paint scheme.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Kurt Busch, AJ Allmendinger were like, that's an iconic Pennzoil Penske scheme.
I agree. Yeah,
man. I had, I love Kevin Harvick, but I had PTSD flashbacks when that Army car was running with. Where it looked like the Army car was running with the Pennzoil car, because man, I was definitely pulling for Mark when Kevin won that fight.
Oh, dude, I remember 07. I was in my dad's living room watching with my dad, and I jumped on top of the living room kid coffee table and went running out the front door screaming during that damn race.
I was the exact opposite. I had my face in my hands crying.
Dude, I was flipping out. I went out in the front yard screaming. I was so happy. Oh, the good old days, the good old days. But man, Harris, dude, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. This is like one of our best podcasts. It was great to have you on.
Well, thank y'all for having me. And anytime, man. I know I talked a lot. We talked a lot about me. We didn't check out.
No, forget the topics, dude. This was worth it.
This was more fun. Before we go, we did completely skip over this, and Dakota was going to end the podcast without even mentioning it because he's terrible at his job. We are brought to you by... Yeah, we're brought to you by Yeats.
Boy.
Can't tell. Check out the sunglasses. You look sick. 10% off discount code Chairgatin. YeatsOfficial.com. Please go buy shit so we can make money because we like to make money.
We're trying to get more content.
We're also brought to you by Yeti. No discount code. You just have to use our affiliate link and then buy like 4 brand new coolers so we get paid.
Go ahead and spend $1,000 on coolers, and we'll get a discount.
Yeah, we get money. You don't get anything. We get money. See how good of a salesman I am?
You get a nice cooler, right? I mean,
well, yeah, you get that. So that's
cool. Drinks cold, and you don't have to worry about it. And every time they use it, they'll think of you guys.
However, the shades you can afford. So get you some Yeats.
The Yeats you definitely can afford because if you're watching our podcast, you probably can't afford a Yeti because we're all just white trash. But these guys... You can afford these guys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I specifically pointed out how dope those were at Darlington.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie, we were rocking some swag. I didn't. Paul Swan came up to us and like, dude, y'all look fucking sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, my dude.
And you get a cosign from him, you are swag.
That's the thing. It's Swan. Like that dude knows what fucking.
I got a picture of him. Actually, I think I just sent it to him yesterday because I finally got a chance to slow down and send him the picture I took. But I mean, when he's walking through the garage, he's got the hamburger meat hanging out the goat.
He rocks sex appeal.
So he's got his mohawk going. He's swagged out.
Yeah, look at this guy.
That's what $1 million looks like.
Yeah, if you get a cosign from that, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he came up and took a selfie with us. He complimented the shades. So, yeah. Harris, thanks for coming on, dude.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure, y'all.
It was great finally catching up, brother. Hope to see you soon.
And hey, Dega next year.
Let's do it.
Pencil that in, bro. Pencil that in.
It's already. It's in the calendar. I got
Get the hot passes in the work. We're coming.
I'll see what I can do.
He's like, oh, you know what? Never mind.
Hey, love you, dog. It was great talking.
Great talking to y'all.
Later.
Peace.